Welcome to channel Q Automation. In last session we have seen starts with function, contains function, and operator or operator inside XPath. And using that we have seen how to use those functions to write dynamic XPath. In today's session we will see about one of the function, that is text function, which can also be used to write dynamic XPath, especially for labels or text. So we will see about XPath using text function. So text function uses the text of the web element for locating the element on the web page. So on the web page, if there are specific text present, so we can use that text to locate that web element. This function is quite useful if your element contains the text. For example, labels, which always contains a static text. The syntax of text function in XPath is, we have to use two forward slash, after that tag name, or we can also use star. In square bracket we have to use text function equals to the value which we want to find out on the web page. So where the text method returns the text of the web element identified the tag name, and it compares the value with the string provided on the right side. So this is used, so this text function we can use to find out the element or the text which is present on our web page. Now let's see a simple example. So let's say we have one PHP travels demo page like this. On this web page I want to find out this question. So I can directly use the text which is present on the web page with the text function. So I can write the relative XPath like this: two forward slashes, after that star, in square bracket text equals to just the value of specific text. Is your application responsive? So I am putting this text value as it is. So here we directly used the text present on the web page to identify the element instead of using the attribute and values to recognize the same. So if you see this XPath, in this XPath we haven't used any attribute or value. We have just used text function along with the text value, right? So this is where text using inside the XPath, so XPath using text function can be useful. Now we will see couple of examples on the same website. I will show you some couple of examples as well. I am just copying this URL. Let's go to browser. In this browser I am simply pasting it and I am just opening that website. So now I am right clicking, inspect element. Now let's say on this page, let's try to find out this question by using the text directly. I am just copying this text. Just by using text function, how we can write the XPath. So here HTML I am just typing Ctrl F, and here I will write the relative XPath by using text function. So how to write it? Two forward slashes, after that I can simply put star, square brackets, inside that I will use text function, text, after that brackets, round brackets, and text function equals to the value which I have copied from this page. So I am putting entire question as it is. So if you see here, it is showing 1 of 1. So it is locating that element by using this text. If you see, it is showing 1 of 1. That means it is successfully finding that element by just using text, right? So this is one thing. We can also use text function along with contains method. So we can also use text function along with contains method, and by the using this contains method and text function, it will be helpful to find out partial text as well. Now let's say I want to find out this question this time, but instead of using the entire question I will just use some partial text here. So I will just use may I test. I can simply use some partial test now. So by using partial text and using contains function, how we can find it out? So again I will just use 2 forward slashes, then star, square brackets, and I will use contains function. So I will simply write contains, and in this function I will pass 2 parameters. First one is text function which I am passing. After that we have to provide comma, and within quotes I can simply put the partial text. So as soon as I have put that partial text, it is finding that element. So if you use only text function in XPath, then you have to use the entire question, right? But if you want to search that specific text by using partial text, then we can use combination of contains function and text function. So inside this contains, I am passing text function as a first parameter, and then comma and value of partial text. So it is finding that one of one question. So this is how we can use contains and text function together. If I change the value, let's say now I can simply use is your application, or we can use application responsive. So I am just using the partial text like application responsive. Instead of this may I test, I am just putting that value here. It is finding that element as well. It is finding that question as it is, right? So this is how we can use text function. Let's revise. So here we can use text function. Basically it uses the text of the web element for locating the element on the web page. This function is quite useful if your element contains the text. For example, especially for labels which always contain static text, syntax which we have just seen here. Text method returns the text of the web element identified the tag name, and it compares the value with the string provided on the right side. We have seen the example as well. And we can also use combination of text and contains, so that by using partial value also, partial text also, we can find it out. So how to write that? Just double forward slashes, star, in square bracket, contains function in which we are passing text as a first parameter, and the value of the partial text which you want to search, that is in single or double quotes. Both are perfectly fine. So this is all about the text function in relative XPath. This is how we can use. So far we have seen starts with, contains, text function, and or operators to write the relative XPath. In coming session we will see about XPath access. So those are also methods, not the methods but the approach which we will decide in our next session. That would be also very helpful whenever we don't find the XPath of the element so easily on the complex web pages. So in such scenarios we have to use XPath access. So it's very important to know about XPath access, and those concepts are very useful. So let's meet in our next session. Kindly subscribe to my channel and also share this channel to all your friends or relatives, so that anyone who wants to learn this can learn very easily. So thank you everyone.